Sorry. If you bring back Kyle, you bring back Dwayne, do you believe that's possible?
You know, I think people make, you know, after I've thought about it, you know, like people make this Kyle thing and Dwayne Casey thing, you know, like a big issue. You know, honestly, I've really like thought about it, and they bump heads. You know, like we can come here and say all the right things to you guys, you know, like blah blah blah. When it's time to work, they work. You know, like that's the bottom line, you know, like, and I think we make this argument that, oh, okay, yeah, do they bump heads, do they do this? When is the end of the day, last year 56, this year 51, you know, like, okay, so they should hold hands and sing hurrah and kiss and do whatever they want to do, you know, like, and we win 30 games. What the hell is that doing for anybody? Nothing, zero, you know, like, so. Point guards are like that, tough-minded point guards, tough-minded coaches are like that. If they are going to bump heads, I know what Kyle does that he doesn't do so well. We're going to talk about that. We talk about it all the time. We're going to talk about it, and he's tried to get better, and he gets better. Coach Casey has tried to get better. But at the end of the day, what are we questioning here? You know, like I don't understand. You know, like. There are some guys maybe a lower level than Kyle too that, you know, like are stubborn sometimes, you know, like that doesn't come out because he's always here, you know, like, and we see it in the games, competitiveness, all that stuff, you know. And at the end of the day, honestly, Kyle is winning. You know, like we can talk all what we want to win here. That's what we want to do. We want to win here, and we're going to figure out a way to win here.
Not to cede the Eastern Conference to LeBron in perpetuity, but the last 2 years, you've run up against him and he's been near the peak of his powers. Mm-hmm. Do you see the value of sticking at that sort of 50-win range and hoping that that chance comes along, whether it's an injury, whether it's a luck-related thing? Do you see the value of just sort of treading water and keeping that window open?
Yeah, there's some value to that. You know, my analytics guys tell me, you know, like we have a 35% chance if this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens. And then when it doesn't happen and doesn't happen and doesn't happen, you have like a 2% chance, you know, like, so I think this year was the 2% chance. So I'm hoping the averages will balance out at some point. And we'll get that chance. I don't wish bad luck to anybody, you know, like that's not the way we think here, you know, like we just, but I see value to exactly what you're saying. Maybe it will fall your way. This year was a little bit of bad luck for us too, you know, like we feel like if we're in the other bracket, you know, like I'm not saying those other teams, we beat those other teams, but maybe you have a better chance and you're right back to where you were last year, you know, it's the same thing, you know, like in sports. Sports is incredible, you know, like while looking at that Cleveland team and everybody in this room, everybody, the ones I talked to said to me, this is the year that Cleveland is beatable. We all said it, you know, like I don't care what anybody says here, you know, like you guys can call me a liar. We all said it. They look beatable. They've lost they were 24 and 26 after the All-Star break. They were this, they were that, you know, like, and then all of a sudden they turned it on. You know, like that tells me something about the playoff basketball. You know, like that tells me that they turned up their level. You know, and in my opinion, we have to find a way to turn up our level because I saw our guys and I saw, you know, we were a little wide-eyed in that series. You know, like I looked at it and I saw it wasn't the same fight. You know, like that we've always had. You know, like and those are the things that I'm going to dig into now to find out why we were like that.
What do you think let you down more, maybe the performance of your key guys, or maybe some of the role players around them? Mm-hmm. Or can you separate it like that?
I think overall, I think not everybody was at like the highest level, you know. And last year, when our key guys were not at a high level, our role players were at a high level, you know. Like last year, when if DeMar and Kyle didn't do so well, then JV stepped up, then Pat stepped up. You know, if there are many guys this year, you know, like I think we just didn't have that, you know. Like, but the general like fight, you know, like with the team, there was something there in that last series, you know, like where it's almost like everybody said in Game 4 finally or something, you know, like that we really like competed, you know, like, but we competed against Milwaukee. We can say it was a tough series, but at the end of the day, we went and won 2 road games out of the 3 games we won in a row. Those are tough games to win. So we competed, we fought. There was something here, you know, like that we need to dig into this whole thing and see, you know, like what's with that fight that we didn't quite have, you know, like until that last game. I think those are things that I have to really look at.
How much does Kyle's future impact the direction you take this franchise?
You know, I've looked at it that way, and we've tried to win either way. You know, like when Kyle was out, we tried to do the best we could, and guys stepped in. You know, like but Kyle is an all-star. He's a phenomenal all-star player, and yeah, it's going to have an effect on our team either way. You know. But we feel that we'll make. First of all, you know, like it's his decision too. You know, like Kyle has to sign. You know, like here. You know, so it's not. I can't say that we will make the best decision because maybe he could decide something else. You know, like but. Whatever I feel like strongly about our program, I really feel, you know, like either way, you know, like we're going to try our best, you know, like to be the best in the NBA. No matter what happens to you in this league, you know, like you can run and hide, you know, like under the table and say, okay, you know, like this is this is what has happened, but. We know what we are with him, you know, like, and him at his best, you know, like, and I think the last couple months, you know, like we saw that without him, you know, like we couldn't gel, we didn't have the time to, and maybe there's something to give that a chance, you know.
Has your plan or your hope regarding Serge changed at all since the trade deadline, or is it what it was when you made that trade and brought him in?
It is what it was, you know, like nothing has changed in our opinion, you know, like is Serge a player that's gone from being more of a 4 than a 5, maybe, you know, like, but other than that, you know, like I think it's one of the things we talked about with coach is how do we play, you know, like how do you change some of those long 2s to 3s, you know, like and figure out ways to put our players in other positions and the style of how we play. So no, with Serge, nothing has changed.
So have you, like the way the NBA has changed playing, I mean, certainly it accelerated this year, but it's not out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Have you kind of gone down this road before in terms of trying to evolve how you play and become a team that moves the ball more freely and things like that? And so why now is this become such something you feel has to be done?
Because we've tried what we've done so many times and it hasn't worked. You know, like that's the simple answer. You know, like we can only try that so much. You know, like, and it just hasn't worked. You know, like it's easy to defend, in my opinion, when you play one-on-one and it's predictable on what you do. We talked about it with coach. You know, like, and we feel that, you know, like we have to go another direction now. Figure out something different. You know, like I don't know what it is. Maybe it'll be the new thing that wins now in the league and will be who would have created something new. But no, when you continue to try something and it doesn't work, I feel, you know, like we've discussed it with coach. I'm not trying to, you know, like it's all of us. You know, like I'm the one that has said, you know, like let's do it. How does it work this year? You know, like, but now it's time to really like address it and see, you know, like if we can move the ball more and figure out a way to pass the ball more to get better options, you know, like, and use the players that we have. You know, like I don't think this is a matter of changing players or anything like that, you know. But how do we change a little bit of how we play and how we approach the game?
Given the moment
of big man, do you think, there are physical changes that need to be made with Jonas to be able to keep up with that new NBA, whether it's, being able to defend in space, move?
I think we can see how he's gotten better to, to adjust to the game. But, we had a great meeting with Jonas. I know he had a meeting with coach, and we're going to figure that out, whether be it Jonas shooting more from outside threes and figuring out ways that we can, Jonas can defend. He got better moving his feet, he got better, I think, when he sags off the ball. There are many things that we tried. There are many positives that came out of the playoffs too. With Jonas, does he play more in the dunker, rather than the post-ups or face-ups more? I think those are things that now we're really going to emphasize, and that's where I say like a reset. We need to have a reset here. We're really going to emphasize that with the way he plays, and then maybe we make a judgment there. We're excited about the young bigs we have too, and all of them have to figure that out. So it's something that we're going to emphasize as we go forward.
So off the top of your head, can you think of another club in this league that has done the sort of internal reset you're talking about and then jump to another level?
I can think of one, but I don't want to say it. I can honestly think of one, but I don't.
Is that your model, whatever that one is?
It's not really my model. I'm trying to be progressive here. We're trying to be progressive and be progressive thinkers here. And not just continue to pound on something that that hasn't worked. And hey, we try it. You never know. And hey, if we fail, we try something else. Or the organization tries something else. This business is all about risk taking too. And you have to put yourself, on the line there. To me, honestly, I'm not afraid of that. I don't want anybody that works with me to be afraid of that. We should not be afraid. We should be confident with ourselves. We should be confident with our thoughts. We should be confident with progressive thinking, on how we can get better to win in this league and beat the opponents and beat those other 29 teams. I think it's very, very important for us.
Most organizations can't boast having so much success over the past 4 years. If you're looking for other players, is it fair to say now you want guys with playoff proven success if they're going to come here?
We want talented players, and sometimes you have to mold those players, and sometimes you have to bring those players, I'll give you an example. PJ had no experience in the playoffs, so this is his first experience, so yeah, bringing a player that has good experience in the league, but he didn't have any playoff experience, and we all know it's a different season. It's a different ball game. So anyhow, I'm telling you, anywhere in the world that we can find players. I think we have a great scouting team. I think the D-League has done us, unbelievable. I think Stackhouse and Dan Tolzman did an unbelievable job there developing players and winning, So we're going to figure out ways to, I don't know, we can say playoff experience, but we have to develop our own players. It's very important for us, and we'll figure out a way to bring talent to the team.
So you touched on this a little bit already, but if I'm not mistaken, you had Kyle for 3-4 games at the end of the regular season. Serge sat at least one of those. You had 6 games against the Bucks, and then essentially 2 against the Cavs, with Kyle missing the last 2. Can you properly evaluate what a core of potentially Serge and Kyle and DeMar would even look like in the 9-10 games that they maybe played together?
So that's the part of this press conference where I'm making excuses, so I'll let you make the excuse for me, if you don't mind. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Is it fair to say, though, that the conversation would be different if you had 30, 40, 50 games to look at?
Yeah, that's one part I think Grange would have been able to eliminate, like that just makes the challenge harder, like for us, like that he didn't play, like I'm sorry to be that way, Eric, but like that, I feel like, I don't want to make excuses here, like, but they only had like a few games, like with each other. You could see it sometimes. Yeah, on the court, there's no doubt that you could see it like whether it was chemistry or the places to be on the court, that had a little effect, like, but again, for people just joining this, like, you made the excuse, not me.
Starting 3 spot than what you got from DeMar this year?
Yes, I think we do, like, and it's one of the reasons we brought PJ. I think DeMar is slowly getting back to, like, he struggled at times, like, but I think DeMar is going to have a big summer, like, because I think this was a healing year for his leg, like, and the best thing about this year for us with DeMar is he never really, like, complained about the leg. He fought through it, like, and you can tell he's getting better, but now DeMar needs to physically, like, go and work, like, to get back to where he is, because at the end of the day, that guy is going to be 2 things in the league. He's going to be a shooter and he's going to be a defender. Those are the 2 things, and we feel he's 100% capable of doing that now that he's getting over this. There were some down times, like there were ups and downs with him, and I think that's, everybody has seen that, but I think the commitment he's making, he's disappointed, like everybody is, like I think at this time, but being that 3-and-D type player is where he's going to go back to being, and we're confident with everything with his body that, he'll get back there.
So were you okay with the way this team played coming into this year, and it's only at the end of this playoff run and having it not worked again that you feel like, okay, now we need to change things up? Or
no, even before, honestly, like we've mentioned it, that, like, is this going to work in the playoffs? Like we've always had that concern, and we've always said it, like that. There's something there that does it make it easier for teams to prepare against us, like to prepare against one-on-one play type basketball, dribbling a lot type basketball. We're good at it. I think we've maximized, like in some kind of way, and we do appreciate that, but no, we've seen this continuous, and it's not something that all of a sudden, like we're saying. I think in your minds, you're hoping, like you identified, you're hoping, but it hasn't worked for us, and we've run into the same issues, like time. So again, I'm not making excuses here, and maybe it's the kind of players that we are getting or something, like, but we want to try it a different way maybe. And I've talked to Coach Casey about that.
Masai, the changes you're talking about, it seems that DeMar, of all the people, Kyle, obviously, if he comes back, but DeMar especially would be most impacted by a change like that, because the ball has gone through him almost all the time. Are you confident that he's adaptable enough?
I think he is, because I think we've played at different times, like, and he's adapted to it, like, and I think there are times when we've played like that, you see flashes, you see that we can do it. I think somebody just said it, like that we've played like that. So I have no doubt in my mind, like the guy gets better every time. He's a phenomenal basketball player. He has a skill, and yes, the 3-point shot is something he has to work on, like, and I think he will, and sometimes it's just even taking the 3-point shot, like, and spacing the floor that way, which will give him even more opportunities, I think, later on in that possession. But I think DeMar will adapt to it. He knows the things that he needs to get better at, and he's one that challenges himself, I think, every time, every summer. No, I have one more thing. Guys, I never leave this thing without like saying something crazy. So I'm going to. yeah, everybody's getting ready on Twitter right now. No, it's a huge day for us today. We have a big, he doesn't want me to do this, but I'm going to do this, you know, like, we're losing Jim LaBumbard. Can you believe the NBA is going to come and steal Jim LaBumbard from me? That's unbelievable. I think I need to protest or something, you know, but this guy, you know, we all say it, you know, like, hey, he's the best person we worked with, blah, 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 you know, like, I'm telling you, you know, like, to deal with all of you is hard work. Okay, it's plenty work, and this guy has made it. He's made our organization top class. I think when it comes to PR, everybody can acknowledge, I think, what he's done. And I don't know what we're going to do, to be honest. You know, like, yeah, we have great people we're going to look at, but you lose a great one. Jim LaBumbard is truly a great one. You know, like, he was unbelievable to our organization, unbelievable as a person. And for me to come into this situation here and have somebody like this that I had worked with, you know, like a few years ago when I worked with Brian, and the way he has taken me and guided me, you know, like this is honestly like a tough one. If I'm mentioning it in a press conference, trust me, it's not because he's a PR guy. It's a tough one to lose. So I guess I stole Teresa and Bobby from the NBA. So the NBA is paying me back by taking Jim LaBumbard back. But I hate to say this on Bobby and Teresa, but it's not an even trade at all, right? It's not an even trade at all. Like this, so Jim, you know, like, on behalf of our ownership, our organization, front office, coaches, our players, there's nobody that you did not affect in an unbelievable way. So we really appreciate it. We're going to miss you, and maybe I'll still make him like a gigantic offer and he'll stay or something. I don't know, but we'll miss this guy. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you. Thank you for today.